Namaskaram. Hello and welcome, hardworking individuals. Do you know that prominent Indian National Congress leader who quit because he did not supported the Quit India movement, rather he was in support of the Britishers. Why? We'll know that. Do you also know about that individual who gave the slogan Jai Hind, and it was not given for the first time in India but outside India? You must have heard about the Azad Hind Fauj or the Indian National Army, but have you heard about the Free Indian Legion? Well, that's very important for your examination. It was not in India but outside India. And do you also know about an incident where it is said that Bhula Bhai Desai during a Desai Liaquat Pact was misled by Gandhiji? There are many questions, and at the end of this, you'll also have 5 MCQs which will help you for your exams preparation. So, with all that, let's get started. And before we get going, a very quick info. If you're preparing for TGPSC Group 1 or for Group 2, or you want to have a foundation batch for both of it, or even if you are preparing for UPSC CSC, right now guys, we are running the live batches and you can get good discount. If you want to know more details of it, please call on the numbers given below without wasting any time. And you know what, this classes that we take on YouTube, this is just a trailer. Otherwise this each topic takes around 1 hour to 1.5 hours to get completed. So for that details, you need to join us. Nonetheless, let's get started with the Quit India movement. And when we talk about the Quit India movement, you should also remember one thing that Gandhiji did exceptionally well and contrasts to what he did in non-cooperation movement. If you remember the non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji stopped the movement because of the Chauri Chaura incident. But here, there were many incidents of violence, and when Britishers asked Gandhiji to condemn that violence, Gandhiji said that that violence are nothing in comparison to what the violence have been done by the Britishers themselves. And he did a fast related to those violence of the Britishers. So it was contrary to what perception Gandhiji has created, that ever if there is any violence, Gandhiji will go against it. And the very famous slogan, do or die, that is also something which is not related with Gandhi, that was given here. So let's very quickly see the Quit India movement, that is from August 1942 to 1945, also called the August Revolution. Please remember, and it was the final mass movement launched by the Congress under Mahatma Gandhi's leadership. Please remember, might be asked in the examination. And after the failure of the Cripps mission in 1942, Gandhi felt that the continuing silence would mean acceptance of the British domination. Therefore, he framed a resolution calling for British withdrawal and the non-violent struggle. Now, why a struggle now? This is something, let's see. So, number one, the failure of the Cripps mission. This exposed that the British is unwilling for the constitutional progress. Number two, you also see the economic hardship, price rise, scarcity of essential, and we also see that there was this scorched earth policy, and also Bengal famine was something that we will see was not to be liking of the Indians. British defeats in Southeast Asia, collapse of British prestige, people begin losing faith in British stability, and also the racist British evacuation policy. During the Burma retreat, Indians treated unfairly, black road for Indians and white road for Europeans, and also the preparation for possible Japanese invasion. Leadership wanted to prepare masses for the defense. Now, the Quit India resolution, there was the CWC meeting, Congress Working Committee in Wardha. This was the Wardha resolution for the Quit India movement, approved the idea of mass struggle, then proposed by Jawaharlal Nehru, seconded by Sardar Patel, and refined by All India Congress Committee at Gavalia Tank, Bombay on August 8, 1942. I said you there was a famous Indian National Congress leader who resigned, and it was C. Raja Gopalachari, because he believed that British is fighting a war now, and if we wage a war against them now, it will be unfair to them. Now, what were the main demands and declaration? Immediate end of British rule in India. Free India will defend itself against fascism and imperialism. Also, the formation of provisional government from British withdrawal, launch of civil disobedience movement. Gandhi named as the leader of the struggle, and the slogan, do or die, we shall either free India or die in the attempt. Now, there were some instructions of Gandhi to various groups. What were it? The government servants were instructed to not resign but declare alliance to Congress. The soldiers were asked not to follow the orders and don't fire on Indians. The students, if confident, leave studies and join the movement. Peasants were asked not to pay the rent or the taxes to pro-British zamindars. Princely states were asked to support your people and accept their sovereignty, and princely states were also asked to do the very same thing that we have already said. Now, what was the British response? It was obviously the British repression. As in an early hour of August 9, all top Congress leaders were arrested. Congress declared an unlawful association under the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 1908. Public meetings banned under Defence of India rules, and Aruna Asaf Ali presided over session and hoisted the flag in Bombay. Please remember that. Now, the spread of the movement will be there. Attack on symbol of British authority, forcible hoisting of national flags, Bleach Day is blown up, telegraph line cuts, most intense in eastern Uttar Pradesh and also in Bihar, strikes in Ahmedabad, Bombay, Jamshedpur, Pune, and also the underground activities were there. It was led by the socialist, forward bloc and revolutionaries, leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohia, Nasif Ali, and so many and so else were the part of it. And also the Usha Mehta started underground radio at Bombay. There was secret communication, morale boosting, distribution of arms as well. And there were, pardon me guys, there were some parallel governments at different places in India. Like in Balia, Uttar Pradesh, we had Chittu Pandey released Congress leaders. Then you have Tamluk in Midnapur, Jatiya Sarkar, cyclone relief, education grants, paddy redistribution. Vidyut Vahini militia was there. Also the Satara, Maharashtra, we see Prati Sarkar under Nana Patil, YB Chavan ran Nayan Dan Mandal's libraries, prohibition drives, also the Gandhi marriages. Now, the estimate and significance, if you see leadership and the nature of the movement, after the arrest of the top Congress leader, the movement became leaderless and spontaneous. Despite this, it reflected a high degree of popular initiative and preparation. Also, the main centers of activity, the most intense activity was in eastern Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Midnapur, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Participants were mainly the students, workers, and peasants, formed the backbone of the movement. The upper classes and bureaucracy largely remained loyal to the British. Significance, the movement put independence on the immediate national agenda. After Quit India, there was no turning back. Now, please also remember that it was not supported by the CPI, Communist Party of India. It was not supported by the Muslim League, and it was also not supported by the Hindu Mahasabha. So, all these three parties did not support the Quit India. CPI did not support because they were in alliance with the communists, and the communists at that time were fighting with the war, and the British had the alliance with them. That is why Muslim League all were only interested in Pakistan, and Quit India movement did not talk about Pakistan, so they were not interested. And the Hindu Mahasabha at that time did not support, because the Congress leaders that were elected in the council, they did resign, and because of that there was a political vacuum where Hindu Mahasabha leaders got the opportunity to form the government, and that is why for political reasons they also did not support the Quit India movement. Now, there was this Bengal famine of 1943, which is said to be a famine which was not natural, but it was man-made. The Bengal famine in 1943 occurred during the World War II. It was a man-made disaster. Estimated 1.5 to 3 million people died due to starvation, malnutrition, and epidemics like the malaria, cholera, and the smallpox. Worst affected areas were the southwest Bengal, especially Tamluk, Kattai, Diamond Harbour regions. Also affected Dhaka, Faridpur, Tripura, and Noakhali. Now, the causes of the famine: diversion of food to feed the large British Indian Army during the war, cessation of rice imports from Burma and Southeast Asia after Japanese occupation, severe mismanagement by the British administration and profiteering by traders, Delayed and limited rationing confined mainly to urban areas left poor people helpless. The Bengal famine of 1943 was tragic man-made catastrophe that exposed the colonials and inefficiency of British wartime policies. Okay. And then the Raja Gopalachari formula. So during World War II, while India faced a constitutional deadlock, attempts were made to reconcile Congress Muslim League differences. C. Raja Gopalachari, a senior Congress leader, proposed a plan for the Congress League cooperation in 1944, and the plan implied tacit acceptance of the League's demand for Pakistan and was supported by Gandhi. Now, if you see main points of the CR formula, League to endorse Congress demand for full independence, Congress and League to cooperate in forming a provisional government. Also, you see if partition was accepted, both sides would jointly safeguard defense, commerce and communication, and these terms would be effectively only after Britain transferred full powers to India. Now, Jinnah has an objection. What is that? Wanted Congress to accept the two nation theory and demanded that only Muslims in the concerned areas, not the entire population, should vote in this plebiscite. Also, if you see, Congress stands willing to cooperate for India's independence but oppose the idea of partition, and Hindu leaders like Bir Savarkar and other Hindu leaders strongly condemn the CR plan. Now, I said you there was one individual who thought that he was betrayed by Gandhiji, and it was none other but Bhula Bhai Desai. Bhula Bhai Desai did a Desai Liaquat Pact, where after the deadlock between the Congress and the Muslim League, it is said that Gandhiji advised Bhula Bhai Desai to do this pact, under which the Desai Liaquat proposal suggested the formation of interim government at the center and the equal representation for Congress and Muslim member for the central legislature, and 20% of the seats will be reserved. But it is said that later on, when it came to the forefront, everybody denied that there was nothing as such, and Bhula Bhai Desai felt insulted and he felt that Gandhiji cheated him. But we can't be sure because there is no evidence of that. Then we talk about the Wavell Plan. The war in Europe ended in May 1945, and the British Conservative government under Churchill wanted to resolve the Indian constitutional question. Viceroy Lord Wavell was authorized to begin negotiations, and Congress leaders were released from prison in June 95 so that everybody can sit together and talk together. Now, why the British wanted a solution? Number one, British general elections were due in mid 1945. Conservatives wanted to show sincerity on India's issue. Number two, pressure from allied powers to secure greater Indian cooperation in the war. Number three, desire to divert Indian political energies into direction beneficial to British interests. Now, what were the main proposals? Number one, except for Governor General and Commander in Chief, all members of the Executive Council to be Indians. Equal representation for the caste Hindus and Muslim in the council. Number three, the council to act as an interim government but not responsible to the Central Assembly. The Governor General to retain veto power exercised on ministerial advice, and parties to submit joint or separate list for council nomination. Now, the Indian National Army and Subhas Chandra Bose. Subhas Chandra Bose, also known as Netaji, was known for his militant nationalism. Passed the ICS exam, Indian Civil Services, which many of you are preparing, fourth rank, but resigned in 1921 to join the Indian freedom struggle just within a year. Political mentor was Chittaranjan Das, became mayor of Calcutta in 1923, frequently imprisoned by the British, disagreed with Gandhi's non-violent approach and had decided to pursue a militant path to achieve independence. He was also a member of Congress, and he was also elected the president of Congress not once but twice. Formation of Forward Bloc and also Anti-Compromise Conference 1940. Please remember, founded the Forward Bloc in 1939. United leftist and radical elements within Congress. March 1940 convened the Anti-Compromise Conference at Ramgarh jointly with Kisan Sabha. Also called for nationwide resistance against the use of Indian resources for imperialist war of World War II. April 6, 1940, people responded enthusiastically to boycott and protest. Arrested in July 1940, went on hunger strike, released and placed under house arrest, and there it is said that he escaped, changing his costume, and under the alias Ziauddin reached Peshawar and later Germany via Soviet Union. So first he went to Soviet Union, but there he will see that Soviet has aligned with the Britishers, so he went to Germany. In Germany, he will find this Free Indian Legion. If you remember, I said you that you know about the Indian National Army. So Free Indian Legion was founded by Subhas Chandra Bose, and there were 4,500 Indian soldiers in Germany who were caught as the prisoners of war. But there he will have some apprehensions with Hitler, that Hitler's intention didn't look good to him, whether Hitler will be tomorrow supporting India or he will also be taking over. Then in the autobiography of Hitler, Main Camp, that also you should know what is the autobiography of Hitler, that is Main Camp. There Hitler has written some few points which was against India, though he wrote it in 1925 and Subhash Chandra Bose is meeting him in 1941 still. And there was a third apprehension where Hitler wanted to invade Russia, and he did invade Russia. And Subhash Chandra Bose thought that Indians have good relationship and good viewpoint of Soviet or Russia, so he didn't like that point. So nonetheless, we will also see that he will meet Hitler under the pseudonym Orlando Mazzotta, and then establish the Free India Center and form the Freedom Army, that is the Mukti Sena, with Indian prisoners of war captured by Germany in Italy. Gave the slogan Jai Hind and had the title Netaji. I have said you who gave the title Jai Hind. And also please remember Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja, Khushi ke Geet Gaye Ja, Ye Jindagi Hai Kaum Ki, Tu Kaum Pe Lutaye Ja. That's also a song which was sung by Subhash Chandra Bose and the Azad Hind Fauj. Began broadcast from Berlin radio to inspire Indians, and later travel via Germany and Japanese submarine to Japan and Singapore. When he will go there, there will be the first phase of INA. That was the idea by Ras Bihari Bose and Mohan Singh, an Indian army officer in Malaya, after refusing to fight for the British. With Japanese support, he recruited Indian prisoners of war, about 40,000 by end of 1942. INA was to act only with Congress's approval to protect India's interest and prevent Japanese exploitation. Differences arose between Mohan Singh and Japanese authorities, leading to his arrest. And that will be the end of the first phase of Indian National Army. So please remember, the first phase was not started by Subhash Chandra Bose. It was started by Mohan Singh and Ras Bihari Bose. Role of Ras Bihari Bose, an Indian revolutionary exiled in Japan since 1915, worked to gain Japanese support, formed the Indian Independence League 1942, presided over Bangkok Conference uniting Indian National Army under the League, invited Subhas Bose to take command in 1943, and Ras Bihari Bose died in January 1945 after giving full control to Subhash Chandra Bose. Now there will be the second phase of Indian National Army. July 1943, Subhas took command of Indian National Army, became Supreme Commander, formed the Provisional Government of Free India, that is Azad Government. Also, key members as Sri Chatterjee, Finance Minister, M.A. Iyer, Broadcasting Minister, Dr. Lakshmi Swaminathan, Women's Department, and it was also the first all-women regiment that was started by Subhash Chandra Bose, that was Rani of Jhansi Regiment. Please remember, the first all-women regiment, Rani of Jhansi Regiment, led by Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan, and also gave the slogan, "Give me blood, I'll give you freedom." Declared war on Britain and USA, recognized by Axis power, that is Germany, Japan, Italy. Formed Rani Jhansi Regiment, already seen. Japanese handed Andaman and Nicobar Island to INA. Please also remember that he will rename this island as Sahid. Andaman as Sahid, and Nicobar as Swaraj. Please remember, might be asked in the examination. And renamed as Sahid Dweep and Swaraj Deep, November 6, 1943. Now the military campaign and decline, if you see, INA headquarters shifted to Rangoon, that's in Burma, in January 1944. Marching with the slogan Chalo Delhi. This is also something that was given by Subhash Chandra Bose, please remember. And in Manipur, in Moirang, first flag will be hoisted by him. INA crossed the Burma border, and INA flag hoisted at Moirang in Manipur by Colonel Malik. Fought alongside the Japanese in Imphal and Kohima, but suffered from poor supplies, discrimination and demoralization. And following the Japanese defeat, INA retreated in July 1944. Japan surrendered, marking INA's collapse. Now let's see some of the question answer and if we can solve it or not. The Bengal famine of 1943 was primarily caused by which of the following? Let's see. Natural calamities leading to the crop failure. Well, it was not a natural disruption of food imports due to the World War II. That looks to be correct to me. Mismanagement of food distribution, yes, that's also British policies of diverting food supplies and war purposes. So number one, wherever it is, please cross that out. So wherever you have number one, so you see you are only left with one. This is what we call as elimination technique. So if you are very sure of one, sometimes that can only give you the correct answer. So 2, 3 and 4 is correct answer here. You can pause the video and see the explanation. Let's see question number 2. The Desai-Liaquat Pact proposed the formation of interim government at the center with the equal representatives of Hindus and Muslims, 30%, or not 30%, 20%, equal number of representatives for Congress and Muslim League with 20%. This looks to be more correct. Proportionate representation of communities, no. Representation based, no. Number B is the correct answer, and yes, that it is. You can again pause the video and see the explanation. Question number 3, Government of India Act. It proposed the complete transfer of power to Indian leaders. Now again you see, Wavell Plan did not talk about the complete transfer of power. Did it? No, it did not. So wherever you have number 1, please cross that out. Now again you are left with only B. Again you see this is the part of elimination technique. Okay, we have not seen point number 2, 3, 4, but we know point number 1 is not correct. So 2, 3 and 4 will be the correct answer. And let's see question number 4. Which of the following correctly describes the Muslim League stand during the Simla Conference of 1945? It supported joint nomination of members to Executive Council. It demanded separate electorates for Muslims. It insisted that all Muslim members in the Executive Council must be the League nominee, and also it accepted Khijr Hayat Khan as Muslim representative from Western Punjab. So which of the following correctly describe Muslim League stand during the Simla Conference in 1945? If you remember that, you should remember that it was the one where it insisted that the Muslim members in the Executive Council must be League nominees. Let's see the last question. Which of the following correctly explains the Congress objection to the Wavell Plan? The Congress opposed equal representation for Muslims. The Congress demanded complete independence, not dominion status. The Congress viewed the plan as reducing it to a purely Hindu organization, and the Congress wanted British officials to remain in Executive Council. Well, the correct answer, Congress viewed the plan as reducing it to purely Hindu organization. And with that, guys, we have come to the end of this class. But if you are preparing for UPSC, CSC, TGPSC or APPSC for one-on-one live mentorship with Deepika ma'am, you can join our mentorship batch, because every topper has a mentor and you should too. Well, keep working hard. If you are giving your honest efforts today or tomorrow, you will be successful. Like and subscribe so that we can meet again. Namaskar.